We've gained around 35 points on the NSE 20, keeping in mind that we're sitting around those 2010 highs. Everyone's asking how much further we can go from here as we head towards the end of the year. Do you think that we are going to see more money being put on the table? We're starting to see a lot more foreigners being interested in the overall market. The question is it sitting at fair value, or do you think it's looking slightly toppish?
Well, I think we're going to see a bit of profit taking going forward. We did see that on Mumia's stock yesterday, and we're probably going to see that on the KenolKobil stock and probably the Cooperative Bank stock in the next few days. That will probably cause a slight correction on the market, but not in the long term. It's probably going to be, due to a bit of speculative trading over the next maybe 1 week, and then we're going to start seeing another surge upwards, which we expect to be, the market to be bullish as we go towards the fourth quarter of the year.
You mentioned Cooperative Bank, and we know that the company has raised its stake in Cooperative Insurance Company to 21% from 2%. On Monday, we saw the stock gaining ground. What happened with the stock in today's session, given the fact that this news has trickled through, and many say that this is going to be a good thing for the company because it's going to start exposing it even further to the insurance space?
Well, there was a bit of positive surge, upward bullish surge on the Cooperative Bank stock today. And I think that there has been a flurry of activity in the insurance space in Kenya in the recent past, especially after we saw Equity Bank went into insurance, and now we see Cooperative Bank is quite interested. I think insurance and real estate are the areas which now we are seeing banks begin to venture into, and I think that's where they're seeing growth as we go forward. And I think Cooperative Bank has made a timely move so that they can at least consolidate their position in that area.
Samuel, just touching on East African Breweries, a company that is doing quite well and has gained quite a bit of interest from foreigners, given the fact that SAB Miller has done really well in Africa. Your view on this company and whether you'd be accumulating the stock at this point in time, given the fact that there is still quite a lot of strong growth prospects for EABL?
Well, EABL is a pretty defensive stock, and they pay quite very nice dividends. I think it is a stock to have for those that do not have it. And I think EABL has been quite a resilient stock. I think now that they have started to show that they have the muscle to expand regionally, and also the fact that, for example, in Tanzania, they already have a stake in Tanzania Breweries Limited, and now with Serengeti, it means they'll have quite a bit of muscle. I think it's going to reflect on their bottom line very well.
Let's touch on Equity Bank, a company that has done really well, and we've seen a surge in their profits, of course, beating expectations. This company, of course, very sensitive to the growth in the country and also the scenario that is playing out on the interest rate front. Your view on those numbers?
Well, Equity is the less conservative of the listed banks, and they are also the most proactive in terms of technology and in terms of product development. And I think that and especially the fact that they have their model is really transaction based, and also in banking they're unbanked, you find that they have actually capitalized on that. And whenever the economy grows, it actually reflects on them. If you look at, for example, Kenya Commercial Bank, they had a 20-something rise in profits, while Equity is doing 53% growth in profits. That tells you that anytime the economy grows, the bank that really reaps the benefits is Equity. And so their model is really working for them, especially now that the economy is positive.
I mean, overall, Equity Bank, a very strong set of results. We're seeing, of course, their loan books increasing, customer base increasing. You know that they've teamed up with Safaricom as well. But just touching on something that is a bit of a soft point, impairments on financial assets increasing an unforeseen 305.7%. How is the investor community looking at this?
Well, I think having more in terms of financial assets is just going to give them a fallback. Basically, They do not want to put most of their, because the equity really sticks its neck out in terms of lending, and especially lending to SMEs and the smaller retail segment. So I think the fact that they're increasing that is because they would also like to have a sort of income stream that is more stable and is more reliable going forward, so that whatever happens to the economy, they still have some level of safety.
Samuel, just let's touch on KenolKobil. We saw quite a sharp increase in that stock today. Of course, lots of speculative activity when it comes to KenolKobil.
Well, we've seen quite a bit of foreign activity on KenolKobil. I think there's going to be a bit of profit taking now that it's gone up by quite a large percentage over the last 1 or 2 weeks. I think the fact that the long drawn litigation that they had with Kenya Pipeline looks like it's being resolved is actually playing in the advantage, and so going forward we do expect the share to remain strong, although we can expect a bit of a correction as those who have already made some money on the stock take some profit.